Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session where I will be giving you an introduction to revenue marketing analytics. My name is Tracy Kraft, and a little bit about me before we jump in. I am the VP of Global Revenue Marketing here at Demandbase, leading our growth, demand gen, integrated marketing, events, and marketing operations functions. Prior to that, I led ABM and partner marketing at New Relic, where my main job was to scale their ABM field and partner pipeline generation. And ahead of that, I was the head of marketing at Marqueta, where I really established their marketing function, delivered on their thought leadership goals and ambitions, driving awareness for the business, and ultimately distributing where growth came from. I have been incredibly fortunate and proud of my roles at various companies throughout my career, from very small 10, 15 person startups to large multinational companies. And through it all, I remain incredibly passionate about the fact that marketers and revenue professionals really can have an impact on a company's growth. And I'm excited to talk to you today about how a revenue marketing analytics program, practice, function, approach really supports that. Let's navigate some of the essentials. A revenue marketing analytics practice comes from the interaction of tools, data, and good communication, where you are able to track everything, but know what questions you need to answer for the audiences that you are communicating to internally, focusing on the best information possible. Our key ingredients are our marketing technology, which can be very, very robust or can be very small, but just really knowing where you are and where you're heading and maintaining that roadmap, understanding your data and focusing on the numbers that matter most by answering those key questions, which we'll get to, and then avoiding analytics misalignment by communicating the outcomes that matter most to the audiences you're informing. Before we dive into any of this, I just thought I would mention the account journey, because everything from a revenue marketing standpoint is in service to that account journey and helping our customers and prospects move through it effectively. So at Demandbase, you can see we've got a 7-stage account journey here, and it maps to these various stages. You can set up yours however you'd like. This is what we recommend, but the important thing here is that everything we do, not just from a program standpoint, but also from an analytics standpoint, is in service of this. And that includes our technology stack. So our first key ingredient here is the tech stack. You can see that I've bucketed our technology stack, and I paused for a minute because I was going to just communicate how fortunate and lucky I am to have access to the robust technologies that I do. And I've bucketed them into 3 different categories: lead gen and pipeline acceleration, sales enablement, operations. And all of this is supported by some components of infrastructure that can't be ignored: our CRM, our marketing automation platform, and of course, no surprises, Demandbase One. All of this helps facilitate our programs against that account journey, but also surfacing the data we know to add to our revenue marketing analytics practice. As I mentioned at the beginning, track everything from all of those sources, know that data, but focus on a few numbers that serve as performance indicators for the business and how you get to those. So, what are those metrics? Well, that comes from answering the right questions. Question number 1: what's the impact on the business? Said another way, what is the ultimate thing I'm trying to do, the ultimate goal I want to achieve? And probably is pretty logical to know that it likely ends up in 2 things: pipeline and revenue. Everything from a revenue marketing perspective is supporting the account journey so that we can get to more pipeline and more revenue for the business. But it doesn't stop there. It also includes the leading indicators to pipeline and revenue. For us at Demandbase, it's everything you see here on the left: marketing qualified leads, marketing qualified accounts, hand raisers, those people saying, yes, I want to talk to a salesperson, meetings, and discovery opportunities. And of course, we are also looking at marketing efficiency at the business level. We're saying for every dollar of marketing investment we make, what are we getting back in terms of opportunity dollars? And is our investment for these other metrics going down over time? From there, we can ask ourselves the next level question, which is what is working or not? For us at Demandbase, this manifests in a few different categories of metrics: lead generation, program successes, hand raisers, registrations and attendance, and conversion. And it's not so much these metrics in isolation that matter, it's the context behind them. So when you're setting up your own revenue marketing analytics practice, think about those metrics that matter to you and why they matter to you. For us, lead generation. Is our database growing enough to expand the coverage and reach of our target account list and the people that comprise the buying committees within those accounts? Hand raisers. Is the interest in talking with sales increasing from the right people at the right accounts? Program successes. Over time, are more people, more targeted personas engaging with our programs? Registrations and attendance. Are our events getting the right people to sign up and then attend, either live or on demand? And finally, is our website working for us and driving conversion from the right people and accounts? Now, these metrics may look different for you, and that's okay. These are the ones that we say our programs 99% of the time map to one of these goals. And so we measure them on an ongoing basis and are intentional about those outcomes. We also look at the deal cycle and make sure there is enough balance of marketing and sales activity to help progress that deal forward. So here's an example. You see the marketing engagement in blue, the sales engagement in orange, and there's that nice harmony between sales and marketing that have facilitated moving this deal forward. Now that we know what we're ultimately trying to achieve and the marketing program metrics that go into that ultimate goal, what do we do next? Well, spoiler alert, we ask ourselves a few more questions. First, are the business metrics green or red? Are we generating enough pipeline or generating enough revenue? If we're green, from a revenue marketing perspective, we're going to ask ourselves two follow-ups. What can we scale? When we find something that works, we need to operationalize it, make it as automated as possible so that flywheel can be set into motion and continue to feed the business. Then we look at what our next big bet could be. Maybe some areas that aren't working as well as we anticipated. What can we optimize? Whatever we do, we make a hypothesis backed by data using those foundational program metrics as our guide, and we execute as flawlessly as possible so that when we get the results back, we know what really was successful and what wasn't, and we're not worried about any mistakes along the way. If the business metrics are red, we are not generating enough pipeline, we are not generating enough revenue, this is not an error, we still ask, what can we scale? In this case, we're looking at the things we're going to focus on first, those needle moving activities that are working for us. And we're going to be very decisive about investing more in those and being clear on those priorities. Then, because things aren't all great and aren't totally green, we have to honestly look at what changes. And this is where every single effort being mapped to that intended outcome, one of those metrics for us at Demandbase that you see below, is what we derive our next decision from. We use that data to stop what has failed. It's okay, failure happens, but we're going to stop it. And we're going to optimize what's just okay. Figure out what could be tweaked to make that more impactful for us. When we get to this point, we now have to communicate these outcomes and this performance outside of our team, outside of ourselves. And we have to communicate the outcomes that matter to the audiences we're speaking with. More questions for us to answer. Who is that audience and why do they care? I'll give you some insight from my vantage point. What every executive is going to care about, what every executive wants to know is, one, are we achieving the ultimate business goals? Are those metrics healthy? How efficient is our spending? Are we getting more bang for our buck as time goes on? And regardless of the answers to those first two questions, what have we learned and what are we doing about it? Succinct, clear, to the point. What's going on? How's it going with our spending? What are we going to do next? That's what the executive wants to know. What every marketing professional wants to know is very similar to that, but slightly nuanced. Why are the business metrics performing in this way? Why are they green? Why are they red? Why are they healthy? Why are they unhealthy? What am I wasting my time on? What programs, what activities, what channels, what campaigns are not serving this purpose, are not working as intended? And as a result of that, how should my plans change? What will I stop doing? What will I start doing? What will I continue doing? Then, now that we have sort of the right idea of what we want to communicate to who, we set up the right forms to communicate those results. Here's how we do it at Demandbase. Here's our analytics forums and cadence. We have our executive business review, which has the goal of delivering the results of our business impact metrics. Did we achieve, are we achieving those business level goals? Pipeline, revenue, leading indicators, efficiency, and communicating the insights and actions associated to that information. This is done on a quarterly basis via live presentation and a slide deck, and it is a presentation delivered to everyone at the company that is a VP and above. And of course, we're encouraged after to disseminate that information to our respective teams. The next item on the list here is what is called our revenue marketing performance. This is the team performance against business goals and the associated conversion metrics and channel performance. This is produced on a monthly basis, but it is not a presentation. It is a distributed slide deck that every single person in Demandbase has access to. So that knowledge and that information is democratized and everybody can look at it whenever they want and have an idea of where we're at any given month. And then finally, and the most granular, is our marketing program review. This is where we as a team look at every single individual program and how it performed against its intended outcome and how it is performing in terms of its investment efficiency. This is done on a monthly basis via live presentation, looking at a spreadsheet that has all of these programs outlined, their associated goals and attainment to goal. Now, I mentioned this is mostly for the marketing team in terms of presentation, but we make sure this form is available and accessible to anyone from our sales team, actually anyone from our other cross-functional departments to come and receive and listen and learn in as well. So, as you're considering setting up your revenue marketing analytics foundation or optimizing what you have in place, remember that this comes from the interaction and usage of tools, data, and communication. Knowing your data is the first step in this process and knowing that it is everywhere, but that answering the right questions are going to help drive your decision-making and help you communicate what's working, what's not, what to do next to the audiences that matter to you and the outcomes that matter to them. I always end my presentation with this quote because it's a good sort of reminder that this is a journey and that's important to start where you are, use what you have and do what you can. I think Arthur Ashe just so poignantly reflects that you are going to be on this analytics approach or your career or in life, going through everything that is available to you in the moment and really being present with that to know what you can work with, but having a point of view on where you're heading next and starting that over again. So it's one of my favorite quotes. I thought I would leave it with you here today. If you would like more information about ABX, about smarter go-to-market, including some touches on analytics, please feel free to visit demandbase.com/guide and get some more details there. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Tracy Kraft. You can find me on LinkedIn. I'd love to connect and continue this conversation. For now, I wish you the best rest of your day. Thank you so much.